film industry.
It's painful, and I share in the pain of those from the affected states.
Federal legislators lead charge against cholera outbreak in parts of the country.
I understand that to achieve this, we must address critical issues such as regulatory hurdles, infrastructure deficits.
Federal government commits to all-round improvement of manufacturing sector. Closing housing deficit gap, federal government consolidates access to affordable homes.
We did that during the campaign, so we believe that there will be job creation, there will be money put in the system.
Winning design for First Lady Unity Fabric Competition to be adopted for Independence Day celebration. Hello and welcome to the Network News. I am Olajide Bello. Joining me on the Business News segment is Benny Adams. Remember, you can watch this broadcast live on our website, nta.ng/live, and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen. In a bid to promote manufacturing sector competitiveness, job creation and gross domestic product, the federal government is determined to support key drivers for sustainable economic growth in Nigeria. Vice President Kashim Shettima said these are the opening of the Nigeria Manufacturers Summit with the theme Rethinking Manufacturing. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Specifically thank the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria for this initiative. I agree with the association's president that there is no other time to rethink our approach to developing the manufacturing sector than now.
Inspection of exhibition spots at the Manufacturers Summit an avenue for showcasing the roadmap for enhancing growth, productivity, and strengthening partnership between the private and public actors in the ecosystem, and of course, networking as well.
We intend to fashion out measures that will improve our capacity and readiness to beneficially engage in the African continental free trade area and generally improve our export performance.
We therefore invite you to an exciting and transformative summit to rethink the manufacturing landscape and redefine the trajectory of the Nigerian manufacturing sector.
Key players in the sector are advocating for improved patronage of made in Nigeria products and local content development.
Import dependence is equivalent to importing poverty, exporting jobs. Anything that you import, you are importing poverty into your nation and you are exporting jobs out.
Nigeria is signaling to the world and investors that the time has come to transform our economy. The time has come to give manufacturing the attention it deserves, a path every prosperous country has gone through in the world.
And government says it is taking measures and policy reforms to address challenges confronting the manufacturing sector in Nigeria.
I understand that to achieve this, we must address critical issues such as regulatory hurdles, infrastructure deficits, access to finance and power supply, amongst others, which have consistently burdened the cost of doing business and hamper investors' confidence in the sector. I am aware of the significant tax-related burden on the sector, which has regularly been highlighted among the major concerns by the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. The issue is being addressed to enhance manufacturing development. The Presidential Committee on Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform is specifically addressing this matter, and we have entered the implementation stage of the reform.
The summit will also look at strategies for enhancing ease of doing business policies, improving finances, and reducing bureaucratic bottlenecks in the country. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And moving to the Red Chambers, Senate is seeking the repeal of the National Identity Management Commission Act to give way to the establishment of an Identity Commission alongside a National Identity Database. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy President of the Senate, Barau Jibrin, made provisions for maintenance of the national database to address crimes relating to identity theft. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Identity theft through the use of technology is an issue of concern not only in Nigeria but the world over. The proposed law seeks to streamline the sharing of personal data and expand the scope of the commission.
The proposed legislation is crucial for the socio-economic and political development of this country.
Most of us are affected by fraudulent acts as a result of our biometrics that are not controlled. There must be a provision for punishment for willfully refusing to register.
The issues of kidnapping, terrorism can be dealt with properly if you have a kind of system in this bill.
The bill will be subjected to scrutiny at a public hearing, having passed second reading. Senate also passed at second reading the bill seeking the establishment of Chartered Compliance Institute of Nigeria. Senator Oju Uzokalu, in another motion, brought to the attention of the Senate the effects of flood devastation to lives and property in Abia North and appealed for intervention.
Came with lightning and thunder, was so severe and devastating that some precious lives were lost in the flood.
In another development, the Senate and House Joint Committee on Tech Fund met with management of the Education Loan Fund on operationalization of the fund.
This joint committee is carrying out its mandate, ensuring that the eligible candidates are not denied access to this loan.
We have put some programs in place, some processes in place to ensure that this program is spread evenly across the entire nation.
NALFund was set up to enable indigent students in Nigeria access loan for education purposes. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
And from the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives has passed a resolution urging the federal and state government to urgently put in place measures to effectively contain the outbreak of cholera in Lagos and other parts of the country. The Green Chamber at Tuesday's plenary also called for more public enlightenment on the disease towards safeguarding public health. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikwen has details of this and other resolutions of the House.
For the Green Chamber, the rapid spread of cholera in the country is alarming, considering the rising statistics from the Nigeria Center for Disease Control.
Mandate the House Committees on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values to oversee the rigorous public orientation, enlightenment and education of the citizenry on the need to maintain personal hygiene at all times.
Lawmakers also condemned the recent bomb attacks in Borno State, urging security agencies to step up intelligence gathering.
The suicide bombers, after identifying their faces, it was discovered that they were recruited, they were drugged, they were brainwashed, and they were imported to come to Gaza from somewhere.
And I share in the pain of those from the affected states. It's not only in the north. Just 2 days ago or 3 days ago, policemen were shot again in Abuja State.
The House frowned at delay in carrying out repairs of flooded sections of the East-West Road, calling for outright revocation of the contract.
Urge the Federal Ministry of Works to immediately revoke or terminate the contract for the construction of the flooded East-West Road to Rock Result Nigeria Limited and other contract, and award same to a company with expertise and capacity.
To address food scarcity, lawmakers called for investigation of alleged mismanagement of government agricultural initiatives.
Any abuse on the programs and schemes of government drastically affects millions of innocent citizens.
Meanwhile, the House Special Committee to review the NSIA report says it will apply legislative procedure in the restructuring of federal government agencies and commissions.
It is either it's going to come through an amendment, repeal, reenactment, or enactment. Nobody can remove.
The committee says it will also review all related white papers on restructuring of agencies. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
And talking health, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, is linking open defecation practice in the country to the rise in cholera cases and is imploring governments at the subnationals to intensify awareness and other measures that will help citizens take responsibility in breaking the chain of transmission. Presenting updates on the waterborne disease in Abuja, Director General of the NCDC, Dr. Jide Idris, says the federal government's response to control its spread is on course with the recent composition of a cabinet committee to strengthen public health systems that can accurately track the spread of infectious disease.
Members of the public should ensure that water is boiled and stored in a clean and covered container before drinking. People should avoid open defecation, indiscriminate refuse dumping, and ensure proper disposal of waste and frequent clearing of sewage. If you or anyone you know experience sudden watery diarrhea, please do not self-medicate. Visit a healthcare facility immediately.
As of 30th June 2024, the NCDC has recorded a total of 2,102 suspected cases and 63 deaths from across 33 states and 122 local government areas. And away from health matters, in furtherance of efforts by the federal government to consolidate activities aimed at energizing the growth opportunities within the real estate sector, President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of the following qualified Nigerians to the board of the Family Homes Fund Limited, FHFL: Demola Debisi, Board Chairman; Abdul Mutalab, Chief Executive Officer and Managing Director; Abdullahi Musa, Executive Director Finance; Emeka Henry Nebu, Executive Director Operations; 5 representatives of the Ministry of Finance, Incorporated, non-executive directors; representative of the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, NSIA, non-executive director; Sam Okagwe, non-executive director; Musa Ahmed, non-executive director; Dr. Enyang Kang, non-executive director; Belkisu Usman, non-executive director. In a statement by the Special Advisor on Public City and Media and Publicity to the President, Ajuri Ngelale, the President says he expects that the new members of the board will deploy their expertise to steer the Family Homes Fund towards achieving its mandate of driving growth and development in the real estate sector. And also, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has approved the appointment of Salamat Wuladi Ahmed as the Executive Secretary of the Federal Government Staff Housing Loans Board. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Olashade Yemieson, disclosed this while handing over the appointment letter to the new Executive Secretary. Salamatu, the board's Director of Operations, succeeds Ibrahim Meriga, who has proceeded on terminal leave ahead of the expiration of his 4-year tenure in September 2024. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation charged her to leverage on the experience garnered over the years towards ensuring the full realization of the board's core mandate. A catalogue bearing all the entries for the hashtag One Nigeria Unity Fabric competition has been presented to the public ahead of the final section of a winner. Promoter of the competition and Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, while presenting the catalogue in her office, also unveiled 2 fashion icons as judges for the competition. State House correspondent Adeni Itao reports that the excitement is already building up ahead of the unveiling of the winner.
Fellow Nigerians, from the moment the hashtag One Nigeria Unity Fabric competition was announced by Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu, The goal was clear, and that is to promote an identity that not only reflects the unity of Nigeria, but also inspire a sense of patriotism among the people. At the end of June, when submission of entries for the competition closed, a total of 111 entries were received and catalogued.
The winner will be presented with the prize money of 20 million naira to be channeled into his or her education or business venture.
Renowned fashion icon Princess Abba Folawiyo and international textile designer Banke Kuku were unveiled as judges to select the design that ultimately captures the beauty and oneness of the country.
Bringing business into local economy, which is good, and because our manufacturers are going to be from Nigeria, so we did that during the campaign, so we believe that, there will be job creation, there will be money put in the system.
Well, I'll be looking out for creativity, what the designers do. Then I will decide.
I think it opens people up to understanding there is a future and there is a creativity. It kind of brings seriousness to the creative industry because, a lot of people are very strict on themselves to do certain types of jobs, but there's such a huge career in creativity. There's so much to be done in Nigeria in terms of that. The market is huge.
After a winner emerges in September, fabrics from the winning design will be adopted for use to commemorate this year's Independence Anniversary celebration. In the State House, Adeni Itaiwo, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return. Thanks for being there and on enhancing civil-military relations. The 2024 Nigerian Army Day celebration will no doubt cement the friendship, understanding and cordial relationship that exists between the Nigerian Army, the government and the people of Plateau State. Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja stated this in Jos during his visit to Governor Caleb Mutfwang in connection with this year's Army Day celebration. Bilkis Unuhu reports.
Chief of Army Staff was in Government House to intimate Governor Caleb Mutfwang on the significance of this year's Army Day celebration in Jos. He told the governor that activities have been lined up to mark the celebration, while preparations are on top gear to ensure a successful event.
And as part of activities lined up for NSIA, we commission some special intervention projects, innovation of schools, and provision of some critical infrastructural facilities to some communities in Plateau State.
I'd like to say a big thank you for the role the Army and other sister agencies have played in ensuring that the security situation on the plateau today is better than where we met it in 2023.
The grand finale of the 2024 Nigerian Army Day celebration, which has as its theme, Transforming the Nigerian Army, Imperative for Combating Contemporary Security Challenges Within a Joint Environment, comes up on Saturday this week. In Jos, Bilkis Unuhu, NTA News.
And to enhance air safety, breaking the chain of accidents is at the front line of the Nigerian Air Force Safety Review Board meeting, chaired by the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, at NAV Headquarters, Abuja. Speaking on the importance of the meeting, Air Marshal Abubakar stated that the NAF regards safety as one of its core functions and is committed to developing, implementing and reviewing policies to ensure that all activities are conducted in a safe and conducive environment. The CAS also stated that more interesting and auspicious days lie ahead in view of the government's commitment to equipping the Air Force with modern platforms, although the meeting comes after inaccurate reports of a helicopter crash by some media, later confirmed to be an unmanned aerial vehicle drone with no ground casualties. A safety review is an integral part of NAF's operation. About 520 delegates from 18 countries are in Abuja for the International Association of Women Police Africa Regional Conference. Francis Form reports that the First Lady of Nigeria, Oluremi Tinubu, in a message said the theme of the conference, which is addressing Africa's security challenges and safety through collaboration and inclusivity, aligns with the renewed hope agenda of the Tinubu administration.
The International Association of Women Police Officers Conference is the largest women police body on the African continent, with about 520 delegates in attendance. The round table highlighted the contributions of women in law enforcement and reinforcing the commitment towards gender equality within the ranks of police forces across the continent.
These gallant women are often at the forefront of community engagement, fostering trust and understanding. You've taken a step. You've accepted a responsibility. You must keep that fire burning no matter what.
And I'm confident that our joint efforts will lead to significant advancements towards a gender-responsive security sector.
Chief host of the conference, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, admitted that policing in Africa faces unique challenges, from transnational crime to domestic violence, demanding new approaches in addressing it.
As we advance innovative policing strategies, let us reaffirm our commitment to promoting gender equality within the police forces.
Mrs. Oluremi Tinubu in a message said the conference emboldens the administration's commitment to revitalizing and strengthening the security institution to better serve the people.
Through the renewed hope agenda, Nigeria is working to build a society where every citizen feels safe, valued, and empowered, where law enforcement agencies operate with the highest standard of professionalism.
The conference also provided the Nigeria Police Force the opportunity of unveiling its gender policy. It is hoped that in the next 2 days, women officers, especially from Nigeria hosting, will have the opportunity of learning from each other's successes to the shared challenges faced in Africa. Francis Form, NTA News.
And from the judiciary, Kano State High Court has adjourned sitting of Kano Emirship Tussle to July 4th for the hearing of all applications in the ongoing case instituted by the Kano Attorney General, Kano House of Assembly, and its speaker against the 5 deposed emirs of Kano, Bichi, Rano, Karaye, and Gaya. Elizabeth Yila Lamido tells us more.
The applicants, Kano Attorney General and the State House of Assembly, are seeking an order restraining the 5 dethroned emirs from presenting themselves as traditional rulers. Counsel to the applicants informed the court that they were served with 5 processes on July 1st by the respondent and urges the court to give 30 minutes stand-down to enable them serve the respondents with their responses. Counsel to the respondent opposed the 30-minute stand-down and sought for an adjournment to enable them reply and file all their applications. Justice Amina Adamu Aliyu adjourned the matter until July 4th for hearing of all pending applications and originating motion.
We seek the stand-down for the court for us to serve them with the processes so that they can respond to it and the court will go on. But unfortunately, they insisted that the matter be adjourned so that they have time to pass a response to our counter affidavit to their applications.
And we told the court that, you see, we cannot wait all the day for them. If they even bring the processes, we need to go and study it and respond to same.
In a related development, a ruling by Justice Simon Amobeda of the Federal High Court in Kano has prompted further legal maneuvers. The counsel representing the defendants, mainly the state government, has filed an application for a stay of execution of the judgment. This has been met with a counter affidavit from the applicant, Aminu Ado Bayero's counsel. The Federal High Court has scheduled the matter for ruling on Monday, July 8, 2024. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila, NTA News.
And to the transport sector, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, has lauded the FCTA's transportation infrastructure being provided for residents, assuring total support of the 10th National Assembly. The Senate President, who was speaking at the flag-off of the Abuja Bus Terminal in Abuja, promised Nigerian civil servants a positive outcome in the ongoing minimum wage deliberations. Aisha Ubali reports.
Kefi Abuja Road has been a gateway to the nation's capital city, connecting other states. A densely populated area, the FCT administration says providing the transportation infrastructure at Kubo will also sanitize the transport sector, especially providing designated bus stops to assist in reducing crimes and criminality, especially one chance.
I wonder what makes our city to be a great city when basic infrastructures are not provided. A city like Abuja up to now cannot have proper public transportation. And with what Mr. President has directed us to do, I believe in the next 12-13 months, there will be a change in the public transportation in the FCT.
Wike says within 15 months, the bus terminal project will be concluded, as it will also be operated with best standard. Senate President Godswill Akpabio, who flagged off the bus terminal project, lauded the minister's initiative, as the FCT administration has maintained a steady trend in addressing the underdevelopment in the FCT.
I have no doubt that by the time this president is through with his tenure in this country, 7 years from today, many people will not recognize FCT. They will not recognize Nigeria again. So all I can say is let us continue to pray for him. Pray for him and be hopeful that the challenges that you see today, tomorrow you will see them no more. It's a project. The development of this bus terminal is more than just a construction project. It is a testament to the good works and commitment of you and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
It is expected that about 5 million FCT residents and other Nigerians will benefit from the project. In Abuja, Aisha Ubali, NTA News.
Realizing the indispensable role of technology to dictating the pace of economic growth, the media content industry believes gaining relevance in the global markets will be determined by the level of technologies imbibed in its activities. As a starting point to incorporating these in content creation, the 2024 edition of the Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibition and Awards will be focusing on using artificial intelligence in production. Michael Olale reports.
Leveraging the simple dictum that content is king, the Nigerian Electronic Media Content Exhibition and Awards has become a marketplace of ideas. And realizing its importance to fostering the growth of the industry, the third edition promises to focus on emerging technologies and impact on the creative economy.
This is with a view to unlocking potentials and opening our eyes to opportunities and palpable negatives from the emerging technologies in content production.
Expected to hold between 7th and 8th of August, NSIA 2024 will be rewarding professionalism across 6 categories that are open for competition, while the 7th, which is for media organizations, will be solely decided by the organizer.
Interested persons can log on to www.nemsia.com/award to fill out the submission form. The call for entries for 2024 awards is still open until the 15th of July.
One positive from this year's event is finding funding to address the low number of children content available across media platforms.
When I met with the DG of NBC in Abuja, he promised me that he's going to be here and he's going to curate a fund that content producers who are interested in children's programming, that they can access a fund.
Key players are hopeful that NSIA 2024 will be the window to harnessing the gains inherent in the creative economy. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NT News.
It is an unfortunate fact that there is an estimated 675 million people with no access to basic forms of energy and 2.3 billion without access to clean cooking fuels. In a keynote address to the 23rd Nigeria Oil and Gas Energy Week, OPEC Secretary General Haitham Al-Ghais is urging world leaders to unite and advocate for necessary support and resources to make a difference in addressing this visibly important matter. Lydia Sampson reports.
Despite the magnitude of energy poverty in the world, the OPEC Secretary General is optimistic of a bright future ahead for energy, with significant opportunities for robust long-term growth.
The world will require all forms of energy to meet long-term energy requirements. Oil and gas will remain the predominant fuels in the energy mix. In fact, oil alone will retain its share at almost 30% in 2045.
Though Nigeria is battling obstacles mitigating maximal crude oil production, partners are resolved to changing the narrative.
As a partner of 80% of those who produce oil and gas in this country, we have decided that we'll stop the debates. And we have declared a war. War means war. We have the right proofs. We know what to fight. IPPG is calling for urgent measures to be undertaken by all relevant stakeholders to immediately arrest this dwindling production level and underinvestment.
For the key drivers of government policies in the oil and gas sector, there is tangible deliveries to share in terms of shaping a better energy landscape.
Our focus has been rekindling the confidence of the investing community. In investment, community's confidence is restored, and that is why you have started seeing investment coming in.
This commitment to energy reform should assure you of our unwavering dedication to this cause.
The ministry is committed to highlighting the vast opportunities within Nigerian gas sector.
They believe the federal government is on the right track and that visible dividends will soon be impacting the lives of Nigerians. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In talking security, the Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Emmanuel Ogala has noted the need for increased synergy, incorporating a whole-of-society approach to tackling security challenges. The Naval Chief raised the observation during a visit from a delegation from the oil and gas sector, made in view of the critical role played by the Nigerian Navy in protecting oil and gas infrastructure and combating security challenges affecting oil and gas production.
We are also charged with ensuring the safety, the protection of the civilians of communication, because we know the vital nature of the strategic skills which we call the government, and the implication it has.
The increase in Nigeria's crude oil production to 1.28 million barrels per day is just one of the examples of the benefits the synergy between the security sector and other stakeholders is bringing to the table. The Naval Chief concluded pledging the Navy's sustained support to the oil and gas industry for Nigeria to meet and surpass the nation's quota of 1.7 million barrels per day. And away from security, the Association of National Accountants of Nigeria, ANAN, has expressed optimism that accountants across the country, being a critical human resource, will drive the economy to prosperity through proper accountability and prudent management of resources. National President of the Association, James Kerari, stated these are the third session of mandatory continuing professional development program for participants in the Northeast Zone holding in Yola, Adamawa State. Yusuf Jika reports.
The third session of 2024 Mandatory Continuing Professional Development Program, with its theme Sustainable Accounting and Economic, Social and Governance Reporting, brought together participants in the Northeast to extensively deliberate on the current issues affecting the profession and the way out. The national president of ANAN, James Ekerare Nemenebo, says the association is now in tune with the global best practices of accounting, where global dynamism of information communication technology that will guarantee effective and efficient statistics takes center stage to achieve organizational goals.
We teach them the current method to gather data, to gather statistics. Things have gone digital, and that is the benefit federal government gets, the state government, and the private sector gets. Because we upgrade them, and they are able to give federal government or the state government or the private sector good data and statistics on the job.
Governor Amadou Umar Fintri of Adamawa State, who lauded the role of accountants in promoting good governance through efficient management system, commended ANAN for its consistent training of its members for optimal results.
I like the way you keep training and retraining your members, especially in fitting in well into the ICT technology that the world is moving towards.
Fintri used the forum to express readiness to support the local government autonomy, which is a sure way to take development to the grassroots level. High points of the event were paper presentations on sustainable reporting framework and stakeholders' engagement on environment and social network, as well as induction of new members. In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
And time now to do some business with Benny Adams. Benny.
Thank you, Olajide. And talking business, Nigeria and the European Union have agreed on a legal framework that will bring certainty, stability, and sustainability to businesses in both countries, with focus on non-oil exports. Alika Banachi reports that this was at the 9th edition of Nigeria-European Union Business Forum in Abuja, where the forum also focused on addressing perceived bottlenecks that might impede inflow of foreign direct investment from multinationals into the country.
Tinubu is on course. He is very, very particular about, rebuilding and renewing the hope of Nigerians in terms of our food security system.
Beyond bringing in more foreign direct investment, it will also galvanize local direct investors.
I think this is a good platform where we have exporters, we have people, different stakeholders. I think it's an interactive section, and it's also going to strengthen collaboration.
I think it's an amazing event. It brings together people from the industry, from all over the business, both from European countries and European companies locally in Nigeria, and all the stakeholders here locally. So it's a really good forum, really good platform where people can meet, find common points to work together, and how to move forward.
And back to the Green Chambers, the House of Representatives is asking the National Agency for Food Drug Administration Control, NAFDAC, the Standards Organization of Nigeria's Sun and Manufacturing Drugs Factories, to establish more efficient channels in every state and local government to verify and monitor products before circulation. This is to curb the circulation of fake consumables in the country. The Green Chamber adopted a motion to this effect by Representative Mohammed Sani Ahmed from Zamfara State. The lawmaker expressed worry about the potential health implications and economic impact of counterfeit products on Nigerians.
Informed by a global consultancy, PricewaterhouseCoopers, where it is estimated that Nigeria may lose approximately 200 billion naira annually to counterfeit medicines, excluding substandard ones. The House therefore resolves to urge NAFDAC and Standard Organization of Nigeria and manufacturing drugs factories to establish more efficient channels in every state and local government to verify and monitor products before circulation.
Look at markets. Investors gained 25.72 billion naira as the oil share index advanced by 0.05% to close at 100,067.77 basis points. A total of 365.6 million shares in 8,665 deals, corresponding to a market value of 4.116 billion naira, were traded. Today's data shows 33% improvement in volume, 11% improvement in turnover, but 14% decline in deals. The current market capitalization is 56.6 trillion naira. On the aggregate, 120 listed equities participated in trading, ending with 22 gainers and 24 losers. Universal Insurance Company recorded the highest volume of 61.5 million traded shares, followed by ICO Insurance 31.7 million and United Bank for Africa 25.9 million. That is business news. Network news continues with Olajide. Olajide, you can take it away from here.
Nice doing business with you, Benny. Moving on, Jigawa State has reiterated its commitment to eradicate poverty, unemployment and boosting industrialization through supporting small and medium-scale business enterprise in Jigawa State. This was when signing a 6 billion naira worth of memorandum of understanding with the Bank of Industry in Dutse. Mohammed Musa Askira has more.
Collaboration, which was concretized through the signing of the MOU at the government house in Dutse, the two parties say will revolutionize the industrialization of the state, as citizens will have unhindered access to finance to boost their businesses.
We know the importance of Jigawa in terms of business in Nigeria, and whoever understands the agricultural sector in Nigeria, Jigawa is one of the leading states producing rice, even there today ginger and a lot of other commodities. But for Bank of Industry, we pride ourselves because we have the cheapest fund in Nigeria. With the MOU we have signed with Jigawa State government have considered not to take any interest on the facility.
The establishment of the Bank of Industries branch in Dutse, the Jigawa State capital, was a dream fulfilled for both the government and the bank, who says it took them 13 years to be able to make the bank's presence in the state. Governor Umar Namadi, who paid for 2 years' rent for the bank in Dutse, commissions the bank's branch in the state, noting that together they will fight poverty and unemployment among the young people to stand still in Jigawa.
Jigawa State indigenes will benefit from the services of Bank of Industries, and I'm sure that with this, our small and medium enterprises will have a means of getting finances, and therefore their business will improve, and therefore the economy of Jigawa State will really improve.
Other stakeholders congratulate Jigawa citizens who will access loans at the cheapest interest rate of 5% of the total money loaned.
With the coming of the Bank of Industries that are promoting industries and business activities, this is a single-digit interest bank.
Records at the Jigawa State Agency for Youth Empowerment and Employment indicate that a large number of citizens have already put forward their requests for the loan. In Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Another break beckons. The network news continues shortly. Many thanks for being there. Governor Mohammed Unwar Yahya of Gom State has flagged off the 2024 tree planting campaign. Emmanuel Akila reports that besides the job opportunities the project will provide to the people, the governor presented checks of soft loans to macro and small business groups targeted at rural development.
The impact of climate change is visible all over Gombe State, hence the need for ways out of the menace.
Tree planting has become an annual event in Gombe State, and every year the government plants no fewer than 1 million trees across the 11 local government areas of the state. And this, the government says, is to mitigate the impact of environmental degradation.
The impact of climate change have significantly influenced crop yields, livestock production, and the availability of soil and water resources. Since 2019, my administration has made significant strides towards combating deforestation and environmental degradation.
Gombe State government finds partnership with the World Bank through the agro-climatic resilience in semi-arid landscapes ACRISAL to execute the environmental protection project.
For us at ACRISAL, the investment in planting trees is part of the activities for landscape restoration.
This event naturally set the ball rolling in terms of the implementation of the 1,900 and something hectares, as you heard from His Excellency's speech, that he has approved to us as ACRISAL project in 2024.
The trees are not only desert resilient, but also include economic trees. While in Bagi, Funakaya local government area, Governor Mohammed Unwar Yahya also presented checks to beneficiaries of the Community Revolving Fund meant for rural communities development. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
Still to come, global updates after this break. Glad to know you're still there. Tunisia reopens its border with Libya after months of closure, just as President Joe Biden criticizes U.S. Supreme Court's immunity verdict in favor of former President Donald Trump. Details of these and more with Chukunonso Nwabweze on our Global Update.
In a bid to further boost economic ties, Tunisia and Libya Tuesday reopened Ras Jdir border in Ben Gaden, temporarily closed for 104 days due to security concerns. At the reopening ceremony, ministers of interior of the two North African countries said the initiative marks a return to cooperation that will benefit the nations in the areas of trade and investment through unhindered movement of goods and persons. In the United States, President Joe Biden in a televised statement criticized the decision of the country's Supreme Court to grant partial immunity to former President Donald Trump, referring to it as a dangerous precedent that undermines the principle of rule of law.
The American people must decide whether Donald Trump's assault on our democracy on January 6th makes him unfit for public office in the highest office in the land. The American people must decide if Trump's embrace of violence to preserve his power is acceptable.
And over 100 deaths have been recorded in a stampede at a religious gathering in Hathras, district of northern India. Survivors say the disaster unfolded as they tried to leave the event. With a high-level committee set up to investigate the incident, Indian authorities attributed the stampede to overcrowding. Chukunonso Nwabweze, NTA News.
What many people are likely to find out when they reflect on the life of their late parents is that mothers are precious gems that cannot be appreciated enough. This scenario played out when Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu paid a condolence visit to the wife of the Vice President Nana Shatima over the loss of her mother. She was accompanied on the visit by members of the Governing Council of the Renewed Hope Initiative. Reflecting on the influence of mothers in the lives of their children and the family, the First Lady notes that the society benefits a lot from their sacrifice and sense of discipline.
And they are quite stern in the way they correct us. It's for us to get better.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. But
comfort you. Make you live longer than her in good health.
The First Lady urged the bereaved to take solace in the meaningful life led by her mother and prayed Allah to repose the soul of the dead. Encouraged by the visits, the wife of the Vice President appreciated the First Lady for identifying with her as a grieving moment. Late Hajia Maryam al-Bashir died on June 23 this year. And the death has been announced of His Royal Highness Ebere of Elu and Odumeze of Ohafia, Ancient Kingdom, Professor Emmanuel Ome, born into the Umwa-Lekwa royal lineage of Otike dynasty. Late Professor Emmanuel Ome-Lekwa had a distinguished career in the public service and politics before ascending to the throne of Ebere of Elu in Ohafia Kingdom. A statement by Ada Odumeze Ohafia for the family indicates that he will be buried Saturday, 6 July 2024 in Elu Ohafia, Abia State. And that concludes the network news. Many thanks for being a part of it. I am Olajide Bello.